Boys and girls, thanks for your patience. You ready for some entertainment this afternoon?
Woohoo!
All right. On behalf of the North Quadra Community Association and the Best Coast Big Band, I want to welcome you to Beckwith Park this afternoon. Beautiful day for it. Thank you, thank you. My name is Mike King. A pleasure for me to be your MC this afternoon. Some of you, as I scan the audience and look for, well, let's just say the older generation, might remember me from my days at CFAX Radio some, 11 years ago, I think it was. The band's conductor, Keith Frazier, and I go way back. Way back. Beginning of time, wasn't it, Keith? Anyway, I met Keith back in my days at CFAX. And do any of you, again, he scans the older audience, any of you here by chance during that little snowstorm we called the Blizzard of '96? Oh, yeah. I was one of the voices you heard on CFAX radio back during that storm coverage. One of my best broadcast memories, but also another of my best memories, one of the very first emergency phone calls I took on the air that morning of the Blizzard was from none other than Keith Frazier. I'm sorry, I'm committed now, Keith. He was in tears. Seriously. Very emotional Keith Frazier called me. He says, Mike, what am I going to do? I said, slow down, Keith. What's the problem? He says, I have to confess, I worked late last night and I got home just as the storm was setting in. And stupid me, I left my beloved Charlie in the car. And now I'm looking out the window. I can't even see my car. It's buried in a 15-foot snowdrift on my driveway. What am I going to do, Mike? I said, relax, Keith. The neighbors will rescue you, I'm sure. Anybody listening within the range of, when we gave his house address, Keith's address, please, could you dig out a shovel or any kind of digging paraphernalia? Come help Keith rescue his beloved Charlie, would you please? And wouldn't you know it, inside of what, 10 minutes, Keith? It didn't take long at all. A small army of neighbors showed up. It took them no time at all to dig out Keith's car, and they stood by in, everybody was just so tense as Keith finally opened the rear door in his car. He reached in and pulled out his beloved Charlie, the trombone, and carried it safely into the house. Seriously, once an educator, always an educator. Anyway, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, when Keith took me aside a couple of months ago and told me that he and a bunch of his fellow musicians were forming a new band, I said, hey, I'd be happy to show my support to you, for a small fee. I wouldn't charge you.
It just went down.
Yeah, right, it just went down. I wouldn't charge you too much, as long as you're the brunt of my jokes, Keith, then no problem, and as you'll see this afternoon. But seriously, ladies and gentlemen, I am impressed, and so will you. This is their first professional gig, if you want to call it that, their first public gig. The band, well, the idea was only formulated back in April of this year. And you've been together basically as a nucleus since what, July? Only a couple of short months, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why I say you are going to be impressed. The band ranges in age from 16 to 75. And wow, talk about diversity and homegrown talent. You're going to love them. I might add also, the band performs absolutely free. No charge, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. There are obviously expenses associated with running a band just for the fun of it, and that's why the band is together. You notice the little tuba over on the other side of the stage, we'll call it? That's the donation bin. If you enjoy yourselves this afternoon and you'd like to hear some new music added to the program in future concerts, then we'd ask you to maybe throw a buck or two or whatever you can afford into the bell of the tuba, okay? If you prefer to kind of keep the program the way it is and let them continue to perform the same songs over and over, then don't bother contributing, okay? No need. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Best Coast Big Band from old to young. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, their first number, their theme song.